And I was like, where can I find a sensitive, artistic young man? So I've started hanging out at Leonard Cohen's grave. I'm super excited to be on this show. I'm really surprised that they asked me because I'm a boring woman, really. I'm a very boring woman. And I come from a long line of boring women, you know? My mother was boring, my grandmother was boring, you know? My great-grandmother was boring. She was Korean, actually. She was a comfort woman during the Japanese occupation of Korea. And she was so boring that the Japanese soldier that was assigned to her invented origami. It was like day 35, and she's like, I wonder if he's gonna like try to touch me. He's like, I'm just gonna fold this piece of paper 1,000 times until it looks like a beetle, you know, like. I was in a relationship recently. I was very, very insecure in it because I'm boring, you know, like I'm jealous. I was super jealous. My boyfriend, he went on a trip to Italy, and he called me, right? He said he went to Mount Etna, and I said, who's Etna? Right? And like, why are you trying to mount her? You know, like. I don't have much luck dating. But in Montreal, I find it's hard to meet sensitive, you know, guys in Montreal. You know, I tried the clubs, tried the apps, and I was like, where can I find a sensitive, artistic young man? So I've started hanging out at Leonard Cohen's grave. And just kind of seeing who comes by, you know, like, hey, you like Leonard Cohen, you know, and you get like a lot of hipster guys there, which they're okay, you know. I find hipster guys, I find they're a lot like a natural deodorant, in that they smell like patchouli and they don't work, you know. I love Montreal, though. I think I've really taken to it. I'm not comfortable where I'm from. I'm from Ontario. I'm not comfortable there anymore, you know? Like, I'll go home and visit my parents, you know? Sit down at the table, say, you call this a croissant, you know? And then my dad, he's all upset. He's like, you've forgotten what family's all about, you know? Like, he's like super upset. I think my French is okay. I've been living here for like 7 years now. I think it's okay. I was working at a vegan restaurant. I really liked that job because they were too anemic to argue with me when I get their orders wrong. But I was at a vegan restaurant, and this old man, I was speaking French to him, and he said, "Are you from France?" And, you know, in French, and I said, "No, I'm not. I'm from Ontario." And I went back to my counter, and I felt so like, and look at me. I'm a girl from Ontario, and I speak French like I'm from France, you know. And then I realized how weird that is. You know, I'm North American. It would be like if a guy from Quebec learned English and he sounded like, "Hello," you know, like if he was just like. I'm from Chicoutimi, you know, like. You may notice that my hand shakes slightly. I'm a very anxious person. I think it's because I drink a lot of coffee, you know, and I don't drink it out of the cup. What I like to do is I like to mix 1 part coffee, 9 parts water. I like to funnel that straight up my ass. Which I believe is what the French call an allongé. taken. I am quite anxious though. I have bipolar disorder. You guys know what this is? It's when you swing very high and you swing very low. And I was diagnosed a few years ago. And now I'm getting treated at the Allen Memorial Institute, which is where they did the MK Ultra experiments. If you're not already acquainted with that, the CIA brainwashing stuff. And my coworker, he found out that I go there, and he's always teasing me about it. He's always like, oh, you're gonna get brainwashed and stuff. They're still doing MK Ultra, you know, man, I hate that guy, you know? I almost hate him as much as I hate Brezhnev, you know, and Castro, you know? Really just don't like that guy at all, you know? And I went to a bipolar support group. I stopped. I stopped going because what ended up happening was the manic people would end up giving the depressed people advice, which is not good. Not the best sort of parody. You go in, you're depressed, you're I don't know what I'm doing with my life, you know? And then a manic person who's have you tried juicing, you know? Have you tried CrossFit? No, I haven't. You're doing way too much stuff, you know? I don't know. I'm kind of uptight. I'm trying to be nicer, though. I'm trying to be a kinder person in general. I saw, it was winter time last year. I saw a homeless man trying to wheel himself across René Lévesque, you know, and it's a wide street, you know, so I got up behind him. I'm gonna push this guy. I'm gonna push him across the street and just help him out there, get him where he's going, at least so a car doesn't hit him. And so I get up behind him. He's really heavy, right? I'm pushing him all the way across the street, you know? It feels like it takes 20 minutes, probably took 5. I'm sweating, and at the end of it, he looks at me and he says, "Do you have any change?" And I can't tell you guys how hard it was for me to wheel him back to where I found him. Anyway, that's my time. Thank you very much.
Ha ha ha, loved.